Got it.
Now I'm ready.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, and welcome to the Blurring the Lines podcast, episode 171. I am your host, Peter Nikolaidis, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Adam Bell.
Hey, Peter, how you doing today? You look tired.
I'm tired.
I bet. Why? You shaved or what?
No, actually, I didn't. A little bit of a neck beard thing going on.
You are Greek. It may be an effort to shave.
Yeah, there was my folks had a book, like, coffee table book when I was a kid. It was called, well, there was this book that was pretty popular called Gnomes. And it was all about, little gnomes. And then they spun off a bunch. There was one called Giants. And then someone, I don't know if it was the same people or if it was a parody, but someone made one called Humans. And they did all the, different types of humans. And one of the types in there was the Mediterranean human. And it was hilarious because there's a picture of this guy and he's got a scruffy little beard and he's, standing there in a wife beater tank top, standing there giving you a, it's a matter for you kind of thing. And
yeah.
And it said that the Mediterranean human is never seen in public with less than 3 days beard growth.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. And I have to say that generally tends to apply to me. So yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, I shave once a week.
Whether you need it or not?
Yep, whether I need it or not.
Let me guess, Sunday morning?
Sunday morning before church.
There you go. Oh, man. So I am tired. As you know, and dear listener, you may also be aware, depending on how closely you follow me. I just ran 20.5 miles, which is my second longest run, second only to the marathon that I ran last year. Only this was slightly different because it included a little over 2,000 foot elevation gain. So
not going downhill. It was all
too. There was about that much too. Yeah. However, it was also towards the end of the run, which took, close to 5 hours. It was like 90 degrees.
Uh-huh.
So this was probably my hardest run ever. That said, I'm standing here talking to you right now, as opposed to being collapsed in a heap. But I hear that's coming soon.
Yeah. Don't you worry. It's coming.
It's coming. Yes. So this is going to be probably a quick little episode. You've got some places to be, people to see, and people to do, and whatever things to know. I don't know.
Things to know, people to be. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah. So I figured we just rapid fire go through the things that are going on, and so yeah, for me, my running, it's going well today. Long weekend coming up. Got a massage. Sadly, It's not for 3 days. It's not until Monday. I can really use it now. Oh man. But,
actually, for me, my hurt is, like I said, right at 24 to 48 hours. That's when I need it.
I thought you were going to say 24 to 48 miles.
After 48 miles, I don't hurt anymore.
Yeah, I don't feel anything because I'm dead. Yeah. Oh, brother. So what about you? How's your week been? Anything exciting happen at work?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that though.
Okay, I'm just curious. I had something exciting happen at work that I also don't want to talk about.
Yeah. So let's not talk about this together.
Perfect. Moving on.
No, one good thing that happened, I did get my gigabit fiber at the farm.
Excellent.
1 gig up, 1 gig down.
I get like 400 or 500 megabits here now, and I could spend it, higher. But the thing is, 90% of the time I'm on wireless, which is not going to get a gig anytime in the near future. Or I am on my third floor, and the Ethernet run up there is not optimal. It's Cat 6, but it's not strung right, or the equipment it's plugged into is not right, or whatnot. So I only get like maybe 400 or so megabits upstairs also. So paying for anything faster than 400 megabits gets me nothing at this point.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of where I am. My wireless, my laptop downstairs, I'm getting 140 meg, but okay. So I get 140 meg downstairs, but I have gigabit Ethernet in my router, and I have devices on the LAN that can do gigabit.
Yep.
So if I have more than one device, I've got the bandwidth, and the price is $79 for gig. So,
Yep.
and it was $49 for 300 meg, which would have been just fine, really.
And I forget, are you on some kind of municipal fiber, or is that was that Google or AT&T?
It's from the electric company, and
Okay,
it's
power company.
rural. So
Yep.
the rural people out in the country now are getting it from the electric provider,
Got it. Okay.
which is why they allowed that, because they changed the law.
Yep, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. They have lines everywhere, and they've got the poles, so they've got the infrastructure. And one would think that a power company might know a thing or two about service delivery and availability. Unlike, these little, like the cable company, cable's out again. So.
Wah, wah,
Womp,
wah.
womp, womp. Yeah. So, well, that's cool. So
Yeah.
gigabit, man, that's pretty rocking. So soon now, and again, remember what do you have at the office?
At my office, I have gig down, but 50 meg up.
So your recording quality when you're recording from the farm is going to be better than today.
It will be.
That's awesome. Awesome.
So I'm planning on recording from there. I bought a blue snowball, an arm, a pop filter. I'm taking a laptop down there. It's going to be ready to go.
Excellent. So it is July, and I was told by the people at Apple that I would be able to order the MacBook Air in July.
Is it? Did you?
No.
No.
Because obviously I knew when they said available in July and not on July 1st or on July 7th, that it would be probably late in July.
Yeah.
But I do have a notification on, and I did just check, and sure enough, the one on, coming soon. Okay, great. Thanks.
And I did listen to your article, or your podcast blurb that said, pretty much most people don't need a MacBook Pro. The MacBook Air is sufficient. And I actually do agree.
Yeah.
I just if I'm already spending that much money on a Mac, I just go ahead and spend the additional to get the Pro, and I'll never miss or I won't ever be underpowered.
But just make sure, if you do though, the current 13-inch MacBook Pro though, the only thing they updated is the processor. It's got the new chips, but the rest of the infrastructure, the bus and all the other stuff is old garbage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was where we're going with that one. And that was from friend of the show, Scott Wilsey, who wanted to make sure that current MacBook Pro is classic Tim Cook. They just slapped the new chip into it, but the rest of it is still like, I want to say 4-year-old technology.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Right. So don't get that one, and again, like me, I like small, fast, and light. And the one drawback that I see that the new Air likely will have that the old ones do is that it'll only drive a single external display. And I'm going to just yank probably, I don't know, I'm going to throw away one, maybe two of my current ones. So I have an ultra wide display, but it's not ultra high resolution, right? So the vertical display is not any better than like either of the 24-inch displays that I have on. It's not a Retina display. It's not high def or anything.
Right.
Because it was so much cheaper. I don't remember, it was like, I think I paid like $300 for it or something a couple of years ago. It was dirt cheap. So I will likely go with like something like a high res, like 42-inch or something like that, and just call it a day and drive that from the MacBook Air again. So
nice.
That said, on a day like this, I'm up in the 3rd floor in my house. It's hot up here.
Yeah. And
in the winter, it's cold up here. So I'm seriously considering looking, calling an insulation specialist and stuff, because there's sometimes like in the wintertime, even though I had the windows all redone and stuff, you can still feel a draft
Yeah.
in the, and this is not, it's not new construction, but it's also not like 1890s construction either.
Yeah.
So, and I did have the basement insulated a couple years back. And then before that, I had all the windows redone. So everything's new Anderson windows. So
Mhm.
the next step, as far as I know, is to look as, going up.
Yeah.
Then again, it wouldn't surprise me. There are like a bunch of unused air ducts and vents in this place.
Mhm.
Would not surprise me if there's like a hole pointing to the outside somewhere that's just wide open.
Yeah.
Because I know there's like an access panel right above the little hallway right above my kitchen. And when it's like super really windy and stuff, I have come through and found the door blown open.
Yeah.
So that tells me I have a hole to the outside. So that's probably where I should start now that I think about that. So maybe I'll
There
just
you
buy
go.
an old, disposable styrofoam cooler and just like shove it in there and call it a day.
There you go.
What's the R value of a styrofoam cooler? Huh?
It's pretty good. It's like R37 or something.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
don't
good.
know. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
R37. Wasn't that the droid on Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Maybe. Or
Did you
2D2.
watch? Do you watch the any of the Disney Plus Star Wars stuff?
Oh yeah. We watched the first episode of Kenobi.
Yep.
Man, it was cheesy. The first episode. I guess they get better.
They got better. It was a little bit, it wasn't amazing. I do think that they stuck the landing. It was worth watching, right? I was happy watching it.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it more than Book of Boba Fett. I did not enjoy it as much as Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian's my number one.
Yep.
Boba
And
Fett was okay.
from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of fan service in, especially the final episode, the last couple episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. No real spoilers, but you get to see Darth Vader like at the height of his powers doing some really cool, Sith stuff.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you also see Ben, Obi-Wan Kenobi pulls out, a few tricks up his sleeve too. The fight choreography, it's okay. I think it was better in the first of the prequels, with Liam Neeson. I thought, because they had Ray Park playing Darth Maul,
Yeah, that dude was a professional.
He's a martial artist first and actor second, and so he's really good. So he really made the fight scenes happen. No, it was good though. I do like it. I like the, some throwbacks. Apparently there's a lot of references and throwbacks to things like the Clone Wars and stuff, which
the cartoon you did.
Yeah, which I think I kind of saw. Maybe I don't honestly know if I finished them, but like that's not going to resonate with me, so
Yeah.
there are definitely characters. They're like, oh, that's so and so from such and such. I'm like,
Yeah. Alexia watched all the Clone Wars and all. Oh, stop. Okay. The A word thought I said her name, but
I thought you were going to say it too.
My youngest daughter watched all the cartoons, and I started to watch them, and so the first episode of Kenobi, I didn't quite recognize the Inquisitor at first because the Inquisitor in the cartoon was so tall and skinny and narrow.
Right. Yep.
And I recognized like the striations or whatever in his head, and I was like, that's familiar. And then I was like, oh yeah, there's the three of them. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. I had no idea. Honestly, I had no idea who these people were.
Oh, okay. So you didn't even watch that much of the Clone Wars. So
maybe I did. Like, I certainly did not watch them right when they came out. I may have watched them later, like on Netflix or something, but it was definitely like, I don't even know how many, 10 plus years ago. If I did watch it, it was a long time ago. If I did,
it was actually less. I think it was less than that because Lexi was in.
But hold on, there were some of that stuff though were prequels to where some of the Clone Wars predated the prequel movies, because General Grievous there, the robot with the crushed windpipe, which makes no sense. He was that windpipe crushing happened in the Clone Wars, wasn't it? It happened in a comic book or the comic, an animated series.
I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't remember it actually happening, but I remember people complaining like, wait, if I have to go back and watch a cartoon to watch, before I understand what's going on in the movie, that doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly that was Mace Windu there, Samuel L. Jackson's badass Jedi mother effer, who crushed his windpipe.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but yeah, like I said, I got enough joy of watching it. I don't regret watching it. Other things that I'm watching, I'll probably catch up. I'm still catching up on all the Marvel Netflix stuff that has now made its way over to DC. Rewatching a lot, and it's some, it was like 7 years ago when I watched some of these, so it's new again to me because I only saw them when they first came out. Plus, I don't think I ever finished the last season of Jessica Jones, so that's cool. So I'm getting there. New episode of The Boys apparently just came out today, unless they finished the season last week. I don't know. I think there's a new episode tonight.
I don't know. I'm behind. I think I'm on episode 3. I think I finished. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that disclaimer that they put up was accurate. I have been telling another friend of mine, a colleague at the hospital, because he's a huge Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, and I'm like, well, we don't have that right now, but we have this, spin-off pastiche of the Dark Justice League kind of thing going on over here. Do not watch it with your daughter. Yeah. I'm like, it is very NSFW, very, very, like, add another very. And then I went and I watched like episode 2 or 3, and I just texted him back, like, no context, add another very.
Yeah.
And then I watched
I almost feel like I shouldn't watch it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that you are, actually.
That's kind of what I've been slow at watching. It's like, this is just so gratuitous.
Yeah, and honestly, I would prefer that it was a little less. I would enjoy the series more if it was a little less gore and gratuitous violence and stuff. That said, I am enjoying it, right? But it's kind of like RoboCop, the movie RoboCop. When I was a teenager, one of my favorite movies, right? But RoboCop, they had to take apparently a lot out of it because it was originally rated X. It was so violent and gory and stuff. So I was just like, yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember. I remember hearing this, but this was, then again, it was a conservative talk show host who said it. So you have to, grain of salt. But like PG and PG-13 movies is generally where the sweet spot is, because they make more money because the parents take the kids. So you get more people in there. If that's true, I understand. Oh, you don't stifle my creativity. And I'm like, okay, but you are trying to appeal to an audience. Yeah. And maybe you don't care. Maybe they're niching down. Maybe they're, their target market is that, and maybe I'm just adjacent to their ideal target market. But I'm seeing more and more of that. You could dial it down just a touch and it would still get the point. Like the things that Homelander does to demonstrate that he is a complete super psycho in more ways than one. You don't need to actually see every single thing that he does to understand. And some of the worst things that Homelander does are actually happen off screen, and you just see the results afterwards, So, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. And I guess maybe I'll find out, and this is not a spoiler because we knew it last season, is that, A-Train can't run anymore because of his heart.
Yep.
Then why is he still in the 7? He has superpowers but can't use them. So
that comes up.
Yeah.
Well, that comes up.
Yep. I'm like, I would just kick him out.
Well, it's all about keeping up appearances, so but that does come up later. So and there's in last week's episode, there's a big reveal. So
okay. Well, cool.
Yep.
So I do have a question about one of your items. You said you talked about fast mail. Scott and I have our chat, and you mentioned fast mail, and he said, I love fast mail. And like, I don't even know what fast mail is.
It's an email hosting service.
Yeah.
Yep. So I am routinely bumping up to the limits of my storage for Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had, a Gmail account since, I don't remember. I think it was still in beta. I got a beta invite, early on for quite some time. I've never really given it out as my primary email address, but when you use a Google, Gmail account, that address does get out, and people will start using it, constantly. I prefer, I have my own vanity domain, Nikolaidis.com. I prefer to use that. Well, some time ago, Google, they used to make it pretty easy so you could send and receive as other, aliases and other domains.
Mm-hmm.
But some years ago, they changed that and they made it much more difficult. And, like right now, I want to be able to send from my yoga domain and from my Nikolaidis domain. And I do, a decent job of segregating that. Like I don't use my Paradigm email address for personal stuff. I have a separate account just for that. But I did not want to go through and buy a G Suite subscription just for Nikolaidis.com for those addresses.
Okay.
And I also did not want to buy another Microsoft 365 or a hosted Exchange account just for that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only two users on Nikolaidis.com are myself and my father.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm like, I don't want to have to pay up, all that. And so I looked at Fastmail, and it's like, I think for me, it's $5 a month with a 30 gig quota. And for my dad, it's like $3 a month for a 15 gig quota.
Okay.
Significantly cheaper than Gmail. Now, of course, with Gmail, you get Google Docs, you get calendars, the whole 9 yards. But now that I've nuked all my email off of Gmail, I've gotten back like 10 gigs of storage. So now I can safely throw all the docs and everything that I want into that. So I am still using it for calendar because I have so many, calendar integrations out on the web that, I don't want to change that anytime soon. Plus Fastmail does offer a calendar service, but like no one's ever heard of it. It's like, which calendar service are you using? Apple, Google, or Microsoft? Maybe if you're lucky, you hear Yahoo, so I'm keeping it for that. But I migrated over and the process was pretty smooth. They make an import process and, it's doing an IMAP sync back to my Gmail. So any new emails that come into my Gmail account get fetched over to Fastmail. And it's nice. It works very well. My father, okay. So to give you, like my father said, yeah, I noticed it looked a little different, but I figured it out. We're talking, when it comes to technology, to a guy who a couple weeks ago, I did just buy an Apple Watch. I got him a refurb Series 4 from Walmart for like $135. I set it up for him and he looks at it and it says 8:17. And he asks me, what do the numbers mean? If this man can figure out how to use Fastmail, it's similar enough to Gmail that you probably won't care.
You won't care. Yeah.
Like I made sure that the color scheme, I don't think I even choose the color scheme. I think they picked it off of no, but they wouldn't have access to that. So I must have chosen a similarly colored color scheme. And he was like, yeah, it was a little different, but I figured it out. They made it really easy. They did insist on two-factor authentication, and they have a big banner across the top of the interface until you do set it. So I did turn it on, but frankly, every time my father forgets his password, he has to call me anyway. So I set it up on my phone. So if he needs his two-factor, he has to go through me to get it. So I'm okay with that.
There you go.
Yeah. But anyway, so Apple, so Fastmail is working fine. So yeah, I did get him an Apple Watch. I got him the cheapest one that I could find with fall detection.
Yep.
He's getting up on years. He does things that I think are of questionable safety, like, walking up and down stairs, carrying a bunch of heavy objects, which he should not be doing. And the last time he told me about that, he says, well, when I go downstairs now, I go down backwards. And I'm like,
yeah. On your knees?
That's worse.
Terrible. Yeah.
No.
That's terrible.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Slide on your bum. You remember doing that as a kid?
Geez, it's bad. So, so I got him that, set it up. It's, no cellular plan. but it's paired with Wi-Fi, and went through a little bit of a trouble because the band that I got him at first was too small, but I did get him. And I told you and Scott this too. I got a stretchy loop band for my Apple Watch. It was like $10-12 on Amazon. Great investment. I love it. I love it. I got the one that fits me perfectly. I had his assistant measure his wrist, and I was skeptical, but they came back and they said, oh yeah, it's the same dimension, same size as yours. I was like, no, my dad's wrists are not the same size. They're like, no, we measured it again. I don't know what they measured, but it was not my father's wrist. So I had to get him a larger strap, which he now has, and now he can actually put on and take off his watch again. Yeah. So Series 4, I know what you're thinking. I just wanted something that tells time and has fall detection. That's
there you go.
All I was looking for. So the Series 4 does that, and Walmart had for $15 had a 3-year maintenance plan on it. So I was just like, great. If the thing dies in 3 years, they'll probably be out of stock of Series 4s. So I'll either get my money back or get him maybe by then it'll be a Series 5.
There you go.
There you go. So. What else you got going on?
Let's see here. So, I did send you that funny picture. In Uncommon Goods, they send me like craft stuff, and it's the stained glass tiny tushy. So it's different orientations of tushy, like on a hanging string made of stained glass.
Glass
that just
stained butts.
Yep, that just makes me laugh.
It also made me laugh. I laughed as well.
Yeah, that'd be the kind of stained glass you have on your door, and then you bring over a girl for the first time, and she's like, "Huh."
Yeah. Well, okay, so he likes butts. Yeah.
He's not afraid to show it either.
Oh yeah. Well, if you saw the refrigerator magnet that I have, you might notice, that can work sometimes. So.
Oh, well, cool.
A few years ago, I bought an electric tea kettle.
Okay.
And about a year or so ago, it's got just like a push button on the top that releases the lid.
Yeah.
So you just push down on it, and that puts this little slider latch back, and it springs open.
Sure.
That kind of broke-ish a little while ago, but I was able to fiddle it and jiggle it, and it started to work. And now, about 3-4 days ago, it broke for real.
Oh yeah.
And so I had to replace that. And I think I'm getting a slightly better quality one now, I hope. So I'm optimistic on that one. But while I was ordering it, I also saw deal of the day, like 40% off for $20, a new pair of wireless earbuds. It's some knockoff brand, Cerdine, but it's IPX8 rated. It seems to be one or the other, so you don't need to always have the right one in the ear, but I'm not sure about that. But it was $20, and this was prompted. But the other thing is they boast 38 hours of playtime.
Really?
And yeah. Now I'm wondering. Now that I've said that, I wonder if it's 38 hours in the after charging it in the case, so the battery case has 38 hours and you have to keep putting them in. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's what the Jabra says.
Okay,
15 hours.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, but what prompted this was after my last long run last week, I thought I had lost the charging case for my Jabras. And I was just like, I am not taking my AirPods trail running. That is not happening, and I'm certainly not taking them mountain biking because I'll lose them, and those are expensive. They're also out of warranty now.
Yeah.
Because I've had them for, I guess, it's been 2 years. So they're out of, Apple Care's off. So it's just like a backup for running. So we shall see. Form factor looks pretty similar to the Jabras that we like, the Elite 65Ts. But again, they were $20. So we got to give those a shot.
Yeah.
One other recent purchase that I really love, and I should just nuke this right over to the Nifty section. I bought the original Meater smart meat thermometer. Meater, MEATER. Meater.
Meater.
It's a Bluetooth thermometer. it has revolutionized my barbecuing, my grilling game.
Really?
It's insane. It's amazing. Okay. Now, first off, they claim a 33-foot range. Not surprisingly, through a sliding glass deck door, patio door, and through a metal grill enclosure, that range is slightly shorter.
Yeah.
Huh. But so I just need to keep my phone within about 20 feet of the grill. It does have a watch app, but essentially you stick it into the, the slab of meat. You tell it what kind of meat it is, and it will estimate the cook time that you're looking for. You tell it what internal temperature you want it to get to, and you start cooking. And it gives you constant updates. It tells you what the ambient grill temperature is. It tells you what the internal temperature is. And it tells you what the target temperature is as it's approaching. And then when it gets, by default, when you get within about 5 minutes of cook time, it starts chirping at you and sending you alerts. And it's awesome. No more wondering, is this cooked in the middle? No more guessing. Is it rare? Is it medium? Is it still frozen? It's a game changer. So I bought the original one, the new version, the Meter Plus or something. There's another version, which makes the stand, because the thermometer comes in a little charging stand. The new version, the charging stand is Wi-Fi enabled. So that needs to be within 33 feet of your grill, and then it can get to Wi-Fi. So the idea is it becomes like a little repeater. Well, for me, like I can leave my phone nearby and get notifications on the watch now.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm happy. But it's like if you do like slow cooking barbecue or smoking and stuff like that, like smoker stuff, that's where that thing might be going for like several hours, and you might want to leave it alone and go for a walk or something.
Right.
So that's where I could see that could be useful. But so I'll throw that one under the Nifty. It was like $55 and I like it. No regrets, would buy again.
Very cool.
Yep. So I think that's all I've got.
Yep.
I'm tired. How about you?
You're tired? Yeah. I'm a little tired too. I've been up since 4. I didn't run 29 miles though.
Well, 20.5.
20.5 miles.
Or
I did.
Or 32.9 kilometers.
Yeah. I did run 1 mile.
That's close.
That's close. I mean, you just add 19 more and we would have been practically done the same workout.
Honestly, Adam, who's counting? I mean,
I did get 100 burpees in. I mean, you could have burpeed along the trail.
You're 100 ahead of me on that one. I will try not to forget. Last week after my 19 miler, I completely forgot my push-ups. End of the day came around. I'm like, yeah, nope, I got nothing. Because I was driving up to visit my dad anyway, and I was like, I just got in the car and totally slipped my mind.
Well, we had Fridays all summer long are hero wads. And today was a fellow named Glenn, but it was we do power snatch, clean, and jerks, 30 of those, then run a mile, then climb a rope 10 times, 15 foot of rope, then run a mile, then do 100 burpees. The 100 burpees took me 10 minutes to complete.
That's 1 burpee that's 10 burpees per minute.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, and I was talking myself into it. I'd like, okay, I just got to do 10. I'd do 10. I'd sit up and I'd breathe for 15, 20 seconds. All right, let's do 10 more. I was like, terrible.
Sounds to me like you were moving at the same pace I was, like in miles 17 to 18.
Yeah. Making bargains. I'm like, there's no way to get away. You have to keep going one way or another because you were running in the woods. You had to come home.
Well, there were definitely options where I could have, bailed and turned around, because I did set my car up as an aid station.
Mhm.
So I went out, we ran about 7 miles or so, came back to the car, ran away like another 5 or 6 miles or so, came back to the car and then finished it off,
Mhm.
so but I'm finding like I have to do that. Otherwise it's not convenient to go out and come back to my house, for the type of running that I'm having to do.
Mhm.
So I usually drive there and, have a nice cooler in the back seat of the car full of water and snacks. So, which
Mhm.
is nice because not having to carry 30 miles of food and water with you
Oh, yeah.
is that's a bonus. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, very good. Well, relax, enjoy your evening. Drink plenty of water, electrolytes, whatever you need.
I would say like, oh yeah, everything's good. My Hydrate Spark bottle is telling me everything, but apparently the battery died again this week.
Wah,
So
wah. Yeah.
I
Once
thought
a
I was
week.
charging it just a few days ago too. So I don't know what's going on there. So
All right. Well, let me take us out here. Dear listener, we do want your feedback. If you'd like to discuss a particular topic, then you can drop us a line at www.blurringthelinespodcast.com. The certificate has been renewed. That's good. This whole thing's good for one more year. So,
well, I guess we have to keep recording then,
have to
huh?
keep recording. If you'd like to reach us, you can reach us at the website. There's a form fill there. And you can Google us. I mean, just ask Google. You can find us at Paradigm Consulting Company LLC, Paradigm CC, yogawithpeter.com, friendswithbeer.com, at Nikolaidis, www.sublimecomp.com, and rrlavenderfarm.com, and at SublimeComp.
On that note, I really need to hit the big red button.
All right.